Hi guys, welcome to Unit 7, Lesson 6, Trend Lines. So first off, let's talk about a couple definitions. There are definitely more definitions in your lesson, but these two I felt like were pretty important. First off, outlier. Outlier is a data point that is significantly different than all other points. Okay, it's like if all of them are in one area, but then all of a sudden there's one way off to the right or, way higher than any of the others and stuff, that could be an outlier. And then a trend line. You saw trend lines in the last lesson, right? And we were talking about like linear associations, right? Or no association. So like a linear association, that would have a trend line. And so we're gonna, I guess you didn't see it as a straight line, but you saw how it's the start of it. So a trend line is a line often referred to as a line of best fit that shows the general direction of points on a scatter plot. So let's get into some examples. With this first one, this one's pretty straightforward. Number 1 on your practice, it says, is the trend line drawn correctly? Yes or no? So in this case, I would say yes. And I think it wants you, let me check. I think it wants you to enter like a 1 for yes or a 2 for no. So in this case, I would say yes, or you could also enter the number 1, okay? Because now if we think about like the definition, right, it's also referred to as the line of best fit. That's probably the best line that we could draw kind of in between all of those points. Okay, that's your goal with a trend line, is to like make it fit like what is the average line when we're on a scatter plot and they're all like a little uneven from each other. We're trying to like make them even. Okay, so that one would be a yes. With this next one, we're also given a trend line, and they want us to write an equation in slope-intercept form for the trend line. So remember, slope-intercept form looks like this, right? It looks like y equals mx plus b, right? And where we need to find the slope and we need to find the y-intercept. Well, the y-intercept, that one's pretty easy. That's where does it cross the y-axis. So that's right here at 45. So in my equation, I could say y equals, and then we're still looking for our slope. We've got x, but then we can say plus 45. So that one's easy, right? It's the slope that we need to figure out that can sometimes take a tiny bit more time. So when you're finding slope, we want to find 2 points on the line that we can use to determine like the rise over the run. So in this case, I'm going to use my y-intercept because I know exactly where that crosses. The other one that I noticed that crosses like a nice pretty spot is this one here, 315. I'm going to use that one. Now you can either find rise over run, or you can use the slope formula that we learned, like find the change in y over the change in x and all that. Now, what I notice is that, let's see, we're at 45 and we're going down, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm going down 30, and since I'm going down, I'm going to put that negative in front of it. And then we're going to the right, let's see, I was at 15, we're going to the right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that reduces to, or simplifies to negative 10, right? Negative 30 divided by 3 is negative 10. So that's what I would fill in right there. And that's the entire formula. So we're all done. Okay, the next one, and again, there's multiple ways to find the slope. Personally, I just think finding rise over run is easiest. Number 3 is also number 1 on your quick check. So they gave us this graph, right? Now this guy right here, this would be an example of an outlier. right? When we were talking about that definition earlier, that's your outlier. Notice everything else is following a fairly similar pattern, right? This would be a positive linear association. But then there's this guy, okay? And sometimes that happens. So, and there can be a number of reasons why there will be an outlier. Just think like if I were to ask all of you, how many pets you have, right? Most of you might say, oh, I have 1 dog, or I have 2 cats, or, lower numbers like that. And then there might be somebody that lives on a farm, right? And they have 27 pets. Well, that person would be an outlier because their data, although yes, it's true, but it doesn't necessarily follow the trend of everybody else, okay? Just because they have a different lifestyle. So it's not a bad thing or anything like that. It's just when a data point doesn't necessarily fit with the majority of the data. So in this case, is there a relationship? How do you know? Now, I would say yes, there is a relationship, right? We just talked about it. It's a positive linear relationship. So yes, there is a relationship. Because the points are blank to the trend line, we would say they are close to the trend line. If I were to draw a trend line, hold on one sec, I'm trying to find a straight edge. I don't have anything. Oh, I have an envelope. We'll use that. If I were to draw, my goal is to draw a line like as close to the middle of all of those points as possible. That might look something like that, right? And they're all close to it, or the majority of them, right? So, all right, guys, I hope that helps. And as always, if you need more support, you just let me know. Have an awesome day.